So I recently got this comment on one of my YouTube videos. It says, to everyone thinking of doing POD, don't. It's too saturated. This died years ago. Now let me tell you a quick story. Back in 2018, I was still working a normal 9-to-5 job. I didn't really enjoy it. I was being paid minimum wage, and the job stressed me out, to be honest. I gained a lot of weight during this time. I also had repetitive strain injury in my wrists, meaning every time I was working at the computer, which was part of the job, like literally all day long, I was in agony with my wrists, with my hands. Now, at this same time, in 2018, I discovered print on demand, kind of by accident, right? So I've always been a creative person. I used to edit a lot of YouTube videos and create those. I used to draw a lot as a child. I developed an interest for logo design as well during sort of 2017, 2018. And I started to get into Photoshop and Illustrator. And I was just messing around creating some random designs that I found fun. And I thought, how can I use these? Like, I don't just want them to sit on my PC. I want to do something with these. And at the time, I was aware of Redbubble. So I just uploaded them there. And that was essentially the start to my print-on-demand journey. I eventually sold a sticker, and that got me hooked and excited. This was in 2018. At the beginning of 2019, I eventually ended up quitting my job and going all in on my self-employment. I was doing some paid work still, some editing work, some logo design stuff, and I was doing print on demand at the same time. That was what I was most passionate about, to be honest. But during my first year, and I've shared this before, I didn't make a lot of progress with POD. In the entire year, I actually only made about £4,000 or $5,000 profit with my self-employment. And some of that was service-based. Not all of it was print-on-demand sales. One thing that was already happening back in 2019 when I was getting into print-on-demand, watching all the YouTube videos, learning all the skills, was that people were saying, this is too saturated, it's too late. You should have started back in 2016, 2017. Now the market is oversaturated, there's no chance you're going to make it. There was already people like this about, writing the same comments. You know, it wasn't any different. I didn't listen to those comments. I carried on, and about 2 years later, I was able to not just replace my former 9-to-5 income, but I was able to way surpass that income. And the best thing, most of this income from print on demand is actually passive. So I don't have to put in the 40 hours a week of work to receive more income than I was making before with a job that I didn't enjoy and that stressed me. And the repetitive strain injury, by the way, disappeared after I quit the job. My wrists are totally fine now, even though I'm still sat on a computer nearly every day. So the point of the story is, if I had listened to one of those comments back in 2019 telling me that POD is too saturated, that it's too late, and I shouldn't start, I should just give up, I would have never got there. I would have had to go back to a job, and I would have never been able to experience this freedom to now even make YouTube videos to teach you how to replicate my process and hopefully get there as well. Do not listen to these comments. Yes, print on demand has become more competitive. There is more people selling POD now than there was in 2019, that's for sure. However, there's also more demand for print on demand products. The novelty gifts that we are selling online have got more demand because more people are shopping online every single year, especially since COVID. There's been a massive spike in online sales and online shopping, and the newer generations that are growing up and now starting to make an income, they grew up with phones. They grew up with the internet, with, deliveries to your doorstep from Amazon. They're all used to this, and they're going to just increase or help increase that online shopping age. Yes, it's become more competitive, but you can still compete in print on demand. It's the same in every industry. As time passes, it gets more difficult, and you're going to have to be a bit more innovative. But There's also more and more information to help you out, more and more tools that are developing over time that get better and better. Like, I wish I had some of the tools that exist now back in the day. I also interviewed Christian Heidorn recently. He is a print-on-demand veteran who's been doing this for over a decade. He started, I think, back in 2012, 2011, and he said even back then, people were already saying POD is too saturated. Merch on demand, or Amazon Merch, hadn't even opened in 2012. So imagine if you told someone back then that it's going to take another 4 years for the biggest print-on-demand platform to open, right? It's crazy. People were already saying this stuff back in the day, 12 years ago. The thing is, people that write comments like this, you're entitled to your opinion. It's fine, I don't mind. I don't know why you're watching my channel if you think POD is dead. But at the same time, all you're really doing is you're making up these excuses that everything is too saturated, too competitive, and you're sort of using this cynicism as a protective mechanism to say, well, I don't have to try hard because everything is already too saturated. There's no chance, right? So because the world is sort of set against me, if I don't try, that's okay. I can't compete anyway, so I'll just do nothing. So it's an excuse for not putting in any work and feeling better about yourself. That's where this mindset comes from, in my opinion at least. I also want to share a success story from one of my viewers, and this was shared in the free print-on-demand community server that I've got on Discord with over 3,000 members. We've got a success channel in there where people frequently share their successes. New print-on-demand sellers, old print-on-demand sellers share their tier-ups, their daily sales, when they've hit a new sales target or royalty target. So check out the server if you want some proof that this still works even for beginners. And the story of this specific person is that he started Amazon Merch in June last year, and he actually managed to get 2,000 sales up to January, which is a massive amount, a great achievement. This is definitely an above average performance. However, it proves to you that there's still a lot of possibility with print on demand, even for new sellers. And yes, in most cases, it might take longer to reach these sort of numbers. It might take you a year or 2 years to be able to replace a full-time income. That's what it was like for me. I've been very open about that. But think about it. 2 years of effort and work to get to the point of replacing your previous income for a passive income stream where you don't have to show up every single morning at 9 o'clock and work 8 hours, but you have more freedom to use your time however you want, to work whenever, to get up in the morning when you want to. Yes, the first 1 or 2 years might suck and your results might be terrible, but it is definitely possible, and many, many people have done it throughout the years and are still doing it now. Another point I'd like to make is that these marketplaces actually live from novelty. So it's literally in the name, novelty gift. If the marketplaces like Amazon, Etsy always showed the customers, especially the returning customers, the same exact designs and listings, they would just go obsolete. Customers would stop coming back, they would get bored, and they'd find somewhere else to do their shopping. So the marketplaces actually have an incentive to give new listings a chance. Now, let me explain this. Obviously, old listings with a lot of reviews and sales history, they have a massive edge. They're going to have better conversion rates. They're going to reach more people because they're so established on the marketplace. But at the same time, new listings will be given a chance. And you can see this quite often on Amazon, that on the first page, you see all these random new shirts that are being promoted without a BSR rank. It does happen. And that's because people like novelty. They're not going to keep coming back if they always see the same stuff. And you have this in every industry, right? If you walk through a supermarket on a regular basis, you will see new products popping up all the time. You will see this new drink. You will see this new flavor of sweet. You can see a new combination of two foods that you've never seen before. And you just wonder, like, why do they keep bringing up new food? There's already so much here in the supermarket, but it's because people get bored. And even though the market is super competitive, there's still new ideas that keep coming up and keep moving to the forefront of the stores. So yeah, you might say the food industry is too saturated, but no. new things still keep coming up, as they do in every industry. So I hope this little rant helped to show you that no, printer demand is not too saturated. Yes, it's become more competitive, but there's still a ton of opportunity to make it in this business. You just have to stick around for a bit longer than a few weeks or a couple of months. You have to actually put in the effort and the dedication, and you have to enjoy this a bit as well. If you hate this from the start, then your chances are going to be a lot lower. Try and find something that you actually enjoy and then put your time and effort into that, because it's not all just about the destination of replacing an income. You also are supposed to actually enjoy the journey towards that destination. Otherwise, you're just going to hate your work and only do it for the money. So I think that is an important or quite a good note to end on, because to me personally, I would always rather do something that I enjoy and earn less money than do something that I hate and earn more money. And I hope you can take that message home and do the same. If print on demand hasn't been working for you and you absolutely hate it, sure, try something else. If you absolutely love it, if you enjoy the work, there is definitely a great chance that you can still compete in this business and make it. It just takes time.